if we haven't met, my name's Jeff Ryan, I'm a member of the Board of Selectmen. I want to introduce Mike Perez, also a member of the Board of Selectmen, and Marcy Lee, a member of the Board of Selectmen. We're excited to be here today to really introduce a new athletic field or complex or court to the town, something that hasn't happened in quite some time, and something that we know has been asked for more than a year or two, at least. The courts came out of a committee that was formed way back in 2019. It was a recreational space committee, and the purpose of that committee was to take a look at what existed in town and what we could add and what we could do. These courts were voted and approved at a town meeting in November of 2022. So the first people to thank, and I've got a bunch to thank today, but would be the voters who were at that meeting. At the end of the day, they're the ones that made this possible. So gracious to everybody that attended that meeting. As I said, I have a lot of people to thank that kind of made this happen. The first person to thank is our former selectman, Anthony Kinahan. For most of the time that this committee met, Anthony was chair of this committee and really drove and made processes move and get things done. And he served as chair right up to the time that I got on the Board of Selectmen, and then he was gracious enough to step aside, and so I could stay on the committee as chair. State law prohibits kind of the both of us from being on a committee at the same time. But it wouldn't be here, we wouldn't have these courts behind us today without Anthony's guidance. So thank you, Anthony. The next person to thank is David Gagney. He's our town administrator, and his knowledge and resources are also required to get something like this done in town. So David, thank you very much. In addition to Anthony, we had a couple people representing the school department, Bill Flynn and Jen Hamill. Bill was the school committee chair at the time, and Jen Hamill was and still is our athletic director. And I don't want to get off topic, but real quick, when you're watching the Olympics this year, Jen's daughter is on the Olympic field hockey team. So as far as I know, that's the closest we have to a West Bridgewater athlete. We'll adopt her and bring her in, but I've been emailing back and forth with Jen. She's going to be here tonight, partly because she's getting ready. She's going to Paris to join her daughter for the duration. So excited for Jen, excited for Alexandra, and wish them the best. So in addition, we had Greg Stipkovich, who was representing the YAA, and we had Glenn Turner representing youth football. It's probably the last time I get to share their nickname with everybody, and that was Gleg. So when you see the two of them together, feel free to call them Gleg, but always great people to bounce resources off and to get the work done. I'm going to talk about Glenn again in a second. Jan Fox is here from the Finance Committee. Thank you, Jan, for everything. We had Chris Inatelli from the DPW. We started with John Delano. He was our conservation agent until he retired. And then Tim picked off right where he started. I think Tim's first meeting, he looked at us and said, why are you guys doing that way? It might make more sense this way. So instant impact from Tim, because he was 100% correct in his guidance along the way. Addition, we have Mike Noon from CHA. Mike represents the company that put all the plans together for the Recreational Space Committee, and this was part of that. So Mike, thank you for all your work and also getting this done. I have two additional thank yous to shout out. So the first is to the guy in the back there who absolutely hates attention. He loves hugs too, by the way. If you want to hug him, go right ahead and hug him. This right here was part of the project. This is what the funds were allocated for. And this is what Mark McLeod and his company produced, which is outstanding. This right here, the red shed, if you will, was a dilapidated shed. It was white paint peeling off. It needed a new roof. It needed a lot of love and attention. And Mark, I've worked with Mark since I was YA president, and Mark has always done things to make things better in this town. And that is just an example of it. So I know you hate the attention. I know you hate the thank yous. I know you're probably going to tackle me at some point later, Mark. But nonetheless, thank you very much. And Glenn Turner, I'd be lying if I say Glenn Turner hand painted that stencil. But he did use a stencil and paint the Wildcat. But thank you, Glenn, for the extra here, and here, putting a little hometown touch together. So basically, it's sort of a last thank you for this committee, but many of you, as mentioned, Mark, Glenn, Greg, we've worked together in town through the YA, through youth football, and through the high school as things have moved on. But been a great group of people to work with. I hope we can continue to work with to continue to do things like this to make the town better. But there's a bunch of selfish people that put a lot of time and effort into producing this, and we are truly grateful to have it. So, and I don't think I need to spend another minute of time. The only thing, I see a lot of people in the audience, but I don't see any paddles. You guys all came to a pickleball opening with no paddles and no balls. But with that being said, at this time, we'd like to ask Glenn to cut the ribbon. Tours will be $5 a person. But thank you all for coming. There are some rules here. Basically, it'll be open from dusk to dawn. The only thing I do ask is that you respect the Council on Aging and the parking that they have over there. It is limited. We will make sure we can take care of all the seniors. So if you can park and move up towards the library and towards the school, it would be greatly appreciated. But aside from that, thank you all for coming. We're excited to have this, and play safe, I guess. Best of luck.